cool emblem.
Yeah, it's cool. I've been texting your husband all morning. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, have you? About what?
What else are we texting about?
Civ 7!
Come on, man.
Did he even tell you our big news?
That he's figured out something in Civ 7? He told me that.
He didn't tell you our big news?
You're pregnant?
God, no! Don't even say that. How dare you? How dare you even put that into the universe?
Our wonderful cleaning lady was like, yeah, I didn't see or hear you yesterday.
I know. She was like, I can usually hear his voice all the way out in the hall. I said, yeah. It is kind of impossible to know to not know if you're here, I should say.
Yeah. What was the song?
With arms wide open.
Oh, what a good song.
Oh, it came up and I was like, dang, that's a good way to start the day. Creed concert coming to FedEx Forum ASAP.
Hasn't it already happened?
No. Isn't it this summer? It's like July.
Okay.
It's a late summer.
What a time to have a Creed concert.
Feels like it should be on 4th of July, if we're being honest. Except it shouldn't because I'm out of town on 4th of July. I want to be here.
They should take the roof off of the Forum for that.
Oh, they should.
Like, open it up. Just for that.
Open air.
Just make it up.
I wish we had that ability. Put that in the next round of renovations. That'd be so cool if you could just open the dome.
Yes. For certain concerts.
Yes. And Creed would be one of them.
Creed would be one of them. Whereas, hey, you got to get that Creed outside. That energy from arms wide open is not going to be able to be contained.
Also, everybody like puts their arms wide open, and you're gonna stink. So it would provide some air and circulation.
There's gonna be some stank in there. Isn't Three Door Down?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Superman, right? If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman?
I always get them and somebody else mixed up.
I get all of those groups
They're
mixed up.
also here without your baby.
Oh, you got it over the roof. FedEx Forum,
it's
powers
not
that
my
be.
time. I'm still
open the roof. Gotta open the roof for that. Open it up.
What a concert.
Yeah. Also, we didn't delete a song last month, so I'm just keeping the list going.
That's fine. I don't know if we have one to delete. Yeah, what's up, everybody? It is a Wednesday, June 4th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios. CJ Hurt back behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, I'll have a very important announcement to open today's show, and then we are one day closer to the NBA Finals. The Knicks went and fired their coach yesterday. The WNBA's Commissioner's Cup continued last night. Are the Indiana Fever getting their groove back before Caitlin Clark's return? We will discuss all that and more. DeAngelo Williams will join us as he does each and every Wednesday. Never know what we'll get into with him. And then we'll do some WTF stories included in those. A zebra is on the loose right here in our state of Tennessee. There was a big... In Tennessee! The other side of the state, but he could be here by now. It was Saturday. Anyway, we have some other WTF stories from the week, too. It's a Wednesday. You know what we say.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Good defense. Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting. Let's go.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. One exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger buzzer beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Javon Evans might be the John Morant of the WWE. You asked me how do I say that? It's because Javon Evans is electrifying. He is viral. He does things you've never seen before. The most athletic guy you've never ever seen in the wrestling world. He reminds me of John in a wrestling ring. So Javon Evans, I'm proclaiming you on this day the John Morant of the WWE.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own a day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? It is a Wednesday. I hope you were making it through the week. Welcome back to CJ. We missed you. And CJ, do I have news for you that I have waited until this moment to share with you. As those of you know at this point, or probably know, 6 days ago, my husband's car was stolen from the front of a home where we were dog sitting. And just to take you through the week of what happens after your car is stolen, after 7 days of it being missing, insurance will start the process of paying you out for your gone and stolen car. And so then you go and you have to get a new car with the money that you get from insurance. And we had just reached the point where Chris was ready to say goodbye to his dad and grandma's car, to his grandma's seat cushion, to his dad's seat covers, to that beautiful little white Hyundai Elantra, and he was car shopping. He was dreaming big of that new car. He was figuring out finances, where we could go. We sat down. We spent all Monday night looking at cars, and then what happens Tuesday afternoon? Gets a little call from his insurance agent. They found his car.
Wait. Was grandma's seat cover in there?
Just wait for it.
Okay.
So we get the call from the insurance people, which I found it strange that he heard from the insurance person and not the police. But the insurance person told him it was at the police impound lot. And oh boy, can I recommend a field trip to the police impound lot for every Memphian, because you have not lived until you are hanging on to the back of a golf cart and the impound lot has lost where your car is, because that's what happened to us. We get so excited. He's like, the emotions of, I'm going to get a new car, or a used car, but a new used car. They found my car. The insurance person said from the outside it looked to be in pretty good condition. They couldn't speak for the inside. He's like, is my car going to be workable? Can I drive it off the lot? They said, bring your keys just in case, see if it'll start. And then you get to the impound lot and you do the paperwork situation, and they're like, okay, we're taking you to your car. And they drive you on this golf cart through the dirt. I felt like I was in Mad Max Fury Road. I'm hanging onto the back of that golf cart. Chris is in the front, wind in my hair, the dust is in my eyes.
All the rusty cars going by
Not just the rusty cars.
Yeah, that's a good lot to be
destroyed cars with bullet holes, cars that look like they've been fed through like a cartoon car eater, where like the big chompy teeth of something that just completely breaks the car down, and you're like, well, certainly there is not a car that's drivable here because no car is drivable here. And they drop us off, and he's like, your car's supposed to be here. And somebody along this journey had told me that their car actually got lost in the impound lot, never found. Like, they ultimately had to pay out from insurance because their car got lost in the impound lot. And I'm not telling Chris this because, like, I'm trying not to be that person who panics too early. But then they take us to the next spot. Car's still not there. We're walking through these rows and rows of cars, just trying to spot every white car. You're like, is that it? Is that it? Is that? And along the way, you'll see a white car that like has a bullet hole through the front window, and you're like, please don't let this be the car. Or you'll see one that's just like completely messed up.
Did he not hit the alarm button on
He's doing it over and over and over again. Nothing's happening, which also is making me nervous because I'm like, either it's fully dead or it's not here. They take us back to the front. They send out another guy who he's like, oh, I can find it. He goes missing for like 15, 20 minutes. Finally comes back and goes, no, I can't find it anywhere. I have no idea where this is. Finally, a third guy comes in like a truck. So now we don't have to get back in the golf cart, which is great because it really was very dusty and very hot and felt like we were in the desert of cars, which we were in the desert of cars. And it's in the middle of nowhere. And we get in this car and the guy goes, I know exactly where it is. We're like, sir? And he drives us straight to the car. And there it is. And we get out. And from the outside perspective, it looks perfect. And then we open the door.
Wires everywhere?
No.
What?
Other than they've jacked with the steering console in trying to steal it. No, the wheel lock still on the wheel.
What?
That wheel lock saved that car. Probably. This is our assumption. It saved them from doing something with it. I would imagine they got as far as they could, and with the wheel lock, they tried, man. Like, they tried desperately to get it off. You see, like, pieces of all the plastic from the handlebars of the wheel lock, like, it's thrown on the ground. Chris has a couple wine openers in his car, because they were his dad's, worked in a winery. I think they tried to use the wine opener to try to, like, jimmy the lock off of the wheel lock. No luck. We think they could maybe like do like a 3/4 turn, not a full turn with the wheel lock on, but that wheel lock, like a gleaming beacon of safety. I want to contact the wheel lock people and be like, hey, will you pay me to make content for your company? Because I've got a great story that would make many people want to buy your specific wheel lock that kept this car from being used elsewhere. They took nothing. There were some like giveaway Grizzly sunglasses. They didn't even take those. They didn't take the Dylan Brooks mock sunglasses. Why would you not take those? They're a collector's item. Pens. He had like 10 masks from... Everyone just has some random masks in their car. I don't know about you. I have random masks in my car. They trashed the front of all the stuff that was there. But then, here's the biggest thing. Go to the trunk. The recycling, still there. Oh. The wagon is there. Our wagon. We do our groceries and when we dog sit our suitcases and our bags, we use this little wagon that I started using in local news, and we just had to replace our original wagon, which we call the swagon. And they're like $100. They're expensive. And it was brand new. It was like 3 weeks old. They didn't even take it. These thieves didn't even know what they had. They could have taken a brand new wagon.
Wait. How much is a brand new wagon going for in these streets?
I mean, I'm just saying they could have all of their, well, one, they could carry better criminal devices
they could carry their thief
to try to
equipment.
figure out how to get away from your wheel lock. And this is where I get to. Thieves. Be better. Be better. If you are going to go through the process of trying to steal a car with a wheel lock, you better have a device that can get through that wheel lock. Because what was it all for? What was it all for? Frustration? Check. A pain in the ass? Check. But at the end of the day, we got the car back, and it would not start because of the whole little steering console thing. But insurance is going to tow it, and they'll fix it at the mechanic, and that car is going to come back probably better than it was when it left.
So grandma's seat cushion is in there.
And the grandma's seat cushion is there,
Yeah.
and my local 24 umbrella is there. Again, you could have had a collector's item. The seat covers are there. I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
Do y'all have to pay to get it out?
No.
Get out of here.
It's all done. They're going to detail it.
Get out. Who?
Yeah, the mechanic. Through insurance.
Here. When my car got stolen, they're like, yeah, you got to pay us to get it out.
Well, you had me so scared, so I was like, we have to go to the impound lot today.
Yeah.
Was it at the police impound lot?
Yes.
Well,
Yes, they were like, hey, because
we must have the special police impound lot insurance
I was out of
clause.
town when it got stolen. And so when I get back into town, they had already recovered it. And it's at the lot. And they're like, yeah, because it's been here so long, we got to charge you for it. It'll be like $300 to get it out. And I'm like, yo, I don't got $300 to get Maxine out. What are you talking about?
I was gonna be furious if we had to pay to get it out. Especially once they lost it, like going through all the things in my head. I was like, if they lost it and we have to leave and we've already spent an hour here and I've already been dusted by this place and we have to come back and then they say, hey, it stayed over another night. Like say they found it today and then they tried to charge. I had it all going through my head because this is how my brain works. I think these situations through, but no, all is good. But for a week.
Big Di in the chat is saying he also had to pay.
Well, I don't know what to tell you guys.
Okay.
Maybe
y'all
they felt bad.
had comprehensive coverage on it?
Yeah.
So maybe the insurance is paying to get it out. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Okay. All right.
But the insurance is taking care of everything. Like
Okay,
if
so
we had been able to
gotcha.
drive it off the lot, we could have driven it to the mechanic. But because we were unable, were you able to drive your car off the lot?
Yes.
Okay. So we physically could not drive the car off the lot because of what they did to the
I also
little console.
Jessica, I'm broke. I never have comprehensive. I was a grown up.
Here's the thing. We just combined insurance so that we elevated our insurance. Like
Got you.
last year, maybe a year and a half ago. It all comes together, everybody. So a Memphis miracle, a story comes to an end. And if you try to steal it again, we'll have we don't know. And it really pisses me off.
You can't look at the police report?
He's going to call today and see if he can get somebody on the phone. Well, because it was the insurance person who told us to go to the impound lot, and she didn't have the details. And the people at the impound lot didn't have the details. Okay. And so I think he's going to have to talk to the police. But I'm telling you right now, I haven't even told Chris this. And I think he's watching. I haven't told Chris this. But when this happened, wife, had the grand idea of driving around the immediate area because there was a wheel lock on the dang car. And I was like, if they can't get it off, certainly they couldn't have gotten far. And to his credit, at first, he at least begrudgingly came with me in the car, and we did some laps around the neighborhood. And we went to East High School because we were like, maybe they thought of the closest big parking lot that we could get into, and drove around a little bit. Felt like a waste of time, but there was another section of the neighborhood. Like if they had just gone like straight back, and we never went that way. And like I felt like it was a dumb I'd been made to feel like it was a dumb idea to drive around trying to find the car. If that's where they found it, it will be my greatest I told you so moment of our marriage. And I'm sorry, Chris, you're a victim. So
Well, what was the car wearing?
2016 Hyundai Elantra.
They did all of this
for a 2016 Hyundai Elantra. My favorite thing, though, is like at the impound lot as they're trying to find, they're like, well, maybe they put it in the nice car section because it was so nice on the outside. Like it was clearly, she looked different than the other girls at the lot.
Okay.
You know, like the other girls, they'd seen some shit, but this Hyundai Elantra still looked pretty spruced up. And they took us to one section where it's like Lexuses, Mercedes, Corvettes. It's all the really nice cars. And I guess they get those primarily from chop shops. And so then the entire insides of them are taken out because those are the valuable things that people want from it. Certainly not the good old fashioned cloth seats of the Hyundai Elantra. But anyway, feels good. Feels really good. Feels good for me to be able to stick up for my Memphis, where even if your car goes missing, you just might get it back. And get yourself a wheel lock. I'm gonna get myself one now.
Are you?
Hell yeah.
Turn up.
Do you need a greater proof is in the pudding of, hey, you should maybe put this on your car and it might make it tougher for somebody. They might still try to take it, but they're not gonna get they might actually take it. You might spend a week thinking that you're never gonna see your car again. But guess what? You eventually find it. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back, get into all the sports news from yesterday. The Knicks went out and fired Tom Thibodeau. I was surprised but not surprised. We'll get into that. Plus, WNBA action from last night. I watched the Fever Mystics game. They might have gotten something figured out as they continue to play without Caitlin Clark. We'll get into all that on the other side.
What should the Grizzlies take away from this Western Conference Finals matchup?
The Grizzlies need more quality depth.
Not just depth, quality depth.
Well, what the Memphis Grizzlies can learn and take away from the Western Conference Finals is you can't talk about it, you got to be about it.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Are you ready? Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment, and they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
CP the franchise. Do we hate the Pacers?
Of course. I hate Halliburton. I hate Reggie. I hate the Pacers. I hope.
Yeah, where does Halliburton rank?
Where does
he rank?
Yeah, is there potential for him to be more hated than Reggie by the end of this series?
If you start flipping y'all off, for sure.
Yes. Well, first of all, they're built the same. They damn near look the same. You know what I mean? He's like reincarnated Reggie Miller.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Jalen Wells is in studio right now. You took on tough, if not the toughest defensive assignment. When did you realize that would be your role?
And that's what I was working towards since training camp. I was trying to guard Dez. I was trying to guard Ja whenever I could, even if they're blowing by me, overpowering me. I really didn't care, because I was a rookie. So it's like, that's what's going to happen to a rookie.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I don't know what happened, Jacob, but my oops, we did it again, the intro to oops, we did it again, completely erased from the computer. But the file is still here, so I can click on it. It just won't open anymore.
Is it in the impound lot?
Do they know where it is? Did they lose it?
They might have lost it. That's so sad. We worked hard on that one. We'll get back in the studio to mix some fresh
By hard,
beats.
you mean like 5 minutes?
Yes.
It's just doop, and you
we
hit the
worked
yeah.
Yeah. All right, we are one day closer to the NBA Finals. The Oklahoma City Thunder defense already at work. They sent a tornado towards the Pacers team plane that was trying to fly into OKC yesterday. They had to divert to Tulsa before getting to Oklahoma City. It ended up not being that long of a delay, but a bit too on the nose using weather to your advantage when you are the Oklahoma City Thunder. First they get all the calls, now they get the weather. It's already an unfair advantage. I think they're 9-point favorites last time I checked going into this series. We'll get into the full game breakdown tomorrow because we are trudging through this week without the NBA. Have you had anything change your mind this week, CJ, in terms of how you feel about Thunder Pacers leading up to this series?
No, and I'm not sure why anything would be changing anybody's mind.
I don't think
up
so.
To this point. The Thunder are clearly the best team in basketball to this point, and short of things happening, unforeseen things happening, SGA go down, Chet go down, Jay Will go down, Dort go down, Caruso go down. Short of all of them going down, I'm not really sure what the Pacers can do. There's a reason why the Thunder back-to-back seasons were the number one seed in the West. The Western Conference, everybody will tell you, is much, much tougher and much harder to get through and so much grueling. And those dudes, not just number one overall seed 2 years in a row, but dominating that conference, running through the teams in that conference. There's a reason why they did that. There's a reason why they're here right now. This is the best team, and I think it's by far in basketball right now. And so it'll be an upset for the ages. This would be an upset akin to what Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks did to Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron's Miami Heat. Right? That's what we're talking about if they win. This will be similar to what Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, what they did to Shaq and Kobe's Lakers as they were trying to go for a 4-peat. Right? Like those are two of the biggest upsets that I can think of in basketball history in my lifetime. And if the Pacers were able to upset the Thunder, I'd put that one right up there with it, because the Thunder are just so dominant and just so good.
I've desperately tried to convince myself to predict anything but Thunder in 5. Like, could the Pacers stretch it? And of course they could stretch it to 6. And this is nothing to do, truly, it's nothing to do with the Pacers, and it's everything to do with the Thunder for me. Like, I have been high on this Pacers team starting in the beginning of this playoffs and looking at a Pacers team that had the second best record in the NBA after January 1st and has really put something special together, has improved on the defensive end, and then operates with this chaotic offensive fluidity that has allowed them to get to the place where they are facing the Thunder in the finals. But the Thunder are the Thunder. Like, they are so good, and they just got better in that series against the Denver Nuggets. They just elevated themselves one step further into a place of dominance and the inevitability factor. When I think of inevitable, I think back on those Warriors teams. Like, you would just look at them and say, there's really nothing that can be done here. And that's the feeling that I get when it comes to the Thunder. We'll talk more about yes.
Eric in the chat points out the coach of that Mavericks team is coaching in the finals.
And I think that's their biggest advantage. I think Rick Carlisle advantage over Dagnall. Just from experience sake.
As good and as great, not good, but as great as Tyrese Halliburton has been in this postseason run, as good as Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, and the rest of those Pacers have been in this postseason run, they got a Dirk Nowitzki? They got an all 75, all 50 player on that roster? Okay, all right.
They don't have an MVP.
Well,
and the Thunder do. I think that's the biggest difference.
They got an all-NBA? Halliburton all-NBA? Do they have an all-NBA player on that roster? At a certain point, you can't just be well coached. You've also got to have the somebody, one of those.
Yeah, he was third team all-NBA.
Okay.
I was like, I swear he was
all
on.
right.
But if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, you have an MVP. You have 2 all-NBA players in SGA and Jalen Williams.
Couple all-defensive
players.
A couple?
Lou Dort
just
and...
One? Chet's not on there. It's just
Jalen?
Dort. Oh,
just
yeah,
Dort?
yeah, 2.
It's 2.
Jalen was on there.
So,
yeah.
There you go. And should have been Caruso, but Caruso didn't play enough games to be eligible. So, alas. Anyway, the biggest story in the NBA yesterday, because we still get the news, the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau. This is like
we
the
knew
most...
that was coming.
So here's the way I view it. It is peak. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Because genuinely, I am surprised that they did it when it all comes down to it. And I don't necessarily agree with the move. But I am not surprised from the standpoint of you immediately know the reasoning that will get thrown around on why they did it. There will be less focus on the fact that the Knicks just made the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years, just had their best season in a quarter of a century, and all of the focus will be on, well, Tom Thibodeau was never able to develop a bench, and Tom Thibodeau played his players ragged, having them play excess minutes all season long, and he failed to really show great promise in any kind of an offensive system with the Knicks, and ultimately he didn't win a championship. And he's been there for 5 seasons and didn't win a championship in any of them. Forget about the incremental progress in getting further and further along in the playoffs. And that's where I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing now with coaches and this incredibly short window that they are given to either win a championship? Like, there is no other barometer of success, or you are going to find yourself fired. The Knicks had not been to the conference finals in 25 years. They beat the Celtics. That was a massive, you talk about upsets in the playoffs, and I know that Jason Tatum got hurt towards the end of that series, but they were still in a position to beat the Celtics anyway. And you're still going to fire Thibs? Like, this is a team that was a joke. The Knicks, for the majority of my life, or at least the later portion of my life, of my NBA viewing life, have been a joke. Like, they've been losers. They are not a winning basketball team. And under Tom Thibodeau, they've developed culture again. They have physically won games, and now he's gone. And so am I surprised? No, but am I surprised? Yes.
Did they underachieve?
I do not think they underachieved.
Okay. I think the argument can be made with that starting five and what you gave up to get that starting five also. I expected a bit more from that team.
But don't
now,
you
that's
give one more year? So you put all that in for 1 year and you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's not enough to say.
How far are they behind the Cavs and the Celtics this year?
They made it further than both of them in the playoffs.
Regular season, how far are they behind?
They had what, 51?
51, yeah.
What the Cavs end up
that's
with?
that.
I mean, the Cavs won 63.
Yeah. So they were wild. They were ways behind the Cavs.
But it's back-to-back 50-win seasons. I mean, there's no knock on that.
No, not at all. But you can be good and not good enough.
They also played a lot of the end of the season without Jalen Brunson. They had a lot of time without Mitchell Robinson. They got Karl Anthony Towns right before the season began. I had gotten to the point where I had made the case enough in my brain that he deserved more time. And even when it came to not developing a bench, and I get that if you're making such drastic decisions to play Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright minutes that you did not see them play through the entirety of the year, in late May, you can make the argument of like it's a little too late. But I saw it as a flexibility from Thibs. He could have stood his ground. He didn't have to dip into his bench. Even with his back against the wall, even in a desperate do-or-die situation, he never had to do that. I thought that showed an actual willingness. And I just think a team like the Knicks that feels to be in a generally pretty good place going into next season, to fire a coach, to me, is a symbol of instability. And I thought they were more stable than what that move makes them look.
I can understand that, and I can understand letting him go. You're supposed to be, in your mind, the best team in that conference. You're supposed to be, if you're not the best team in that conference, you're supposed to be rivals with the best teams in that conference, and they just weren't. They struggled to be good teams all regular season long. They came alive in the postseason, and you could say, okay, run that back. But teams who have run that back when there are clear signs of, hey, there's some underachieving going on, sometimes when those teams run it back, it gets worse.
True.
Right, and so before it gets worse, you have that conversation and say, hey, listen, do we truly believe in where we are going with everything around? And it's like, okay, no. Well, what are we gonna do? Because we gave up 5 firsts for Mikal. We gave up assets for Karl Anthony Towns. We feel like it is now. The window is now, and we don't want it to close because we've seen, as the Sacramento Kings, how quick that shit closes on you.
Yeah.
Like, you can be in the conference finals 1 year and look up 2 years from that and out in the play-in round, or not even make the play-in.
Right.
So, all right, if that window is open now, we've got to go for it now. Can we move on from some of these players? Well, if we move on from them, what was the point of trading for them? All right, so what can we do? We can get a new coach in here, and we can find a different way to go about doing these sorts of things.
Who?
That's
I've seen people
them.
make two comparisons that keep popping up.
I didn't send it. Oh no.
Who do you want?
Meta World Peace.
Oh, of course.
He's throwing his hat into the ring. I loved reading those tweets.
I love
that
the people
was incredible.
who are like, I'm really curious if Jay Wright would come out of retirement to link back up with the Villanova guy. I'm like, You think Jay Wright, comfy cozy, decided to leave that job? Everyone just assumes that every coach operates, and I get it because we see so many coaches operate from that space of never going to give it up. Like, want to coach forever, want to be 85 years old, and they have to drag you off of the sidelines at some point. But I think the next generation has a greater touch with their work-life balance. And perhaps someone like Jay Wright doesn't want to come back. I saw one of his, I forget which one it was, but one of the college basketball writers who's been working with Jay Wright was like, I've been working with this man for the last year, and I have a better chance of coming and coaching the New York Knicks than Jay Wright has of coming and coaching the New York Knicks. Like, people want to bring up the Warriors comparison of moving on from Mark Jackson and going to Steve Kerr, but in that situation, like, they have a Steph Curry. Do the Knicks have a Steph Curry? I don't think so. And then other people actually brought up the Rick Carlisle situation back in 2003 with the Pistons when they went out and got Larry Brown. And you bring in a legend like Larry Brown and anticipate someone who can come in and really elevate the team. I just don't know if a Larry Brown type exists. I don't think it's Meta World Peace. I don't think it's Jay Wright. I don't think it's, I saw Dan Hurley. Everybody always wants to make the college to NBA pipeline continue. I just don't see that personality fit working. People keep bringing up Michael Malone, but Michael Malone has some of the same tendencies as a Tom Thibodeau in terms of not really showing a willingness to develop younger talent and situating yourself so, like, all of your success riding on your starters. I could see a similar thing playing out with a Michael Malone.
Listen, whatever they do, there are a lot of different ways to do it. They've got to make the decision, to make the right coaching hire. You can bring up the Golden State Warriors if you would like to, but we're only going to bring them up because it worked. Oftentimes it does not work, right? You let go of Mark Jackson, you bring in a Steve Kerr, and it does not work. The Grizzlies let go of Lionel Hollins and bring in, it was Dave Yeager. It was like, okay, that worked. They never got back to the Western Conference Final. They never got back to the heights where they were with Lionel. They didn't fall completely off. And the risk is you fall completely off. It's a risk either way it goes. Would I have let Thibs go? No. I'm with you. I think you give it more time. Do I understand why they let him go? 1,000% I do. Now that he is available, if you have we've got coaches who have gone from interim to head coaches.
You don't listen to The Daily, and this is like a very niche joke, but there's one of the hosts of The Daily, the New York Times Daily podcast, his name's Michael Barbaro, and that's how he answers, like, in the middle of interviews, they'll be saying something, and he's always like, and I'm like, I hate that sound so much, and I just made it when you were making this point.
But if you got an interim coach who's now a head coach, there are a handful of those.
You could have used some experience on the bench.
There is a Tom Thibodeau out there, and Thibs is still, for all of his flaws, and it's only like one big flaw. Right, you run your starters into the ground.
And he would not have that power as an assistant somewhere.
He's a tremendous.
Hired Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo to Memphis. Wired.
I didn't say anything about
Tom Thibodeau. Like, I didn't either. I just that idea fell from the sky.
If you're a team who struggled defensively and Thibs is available to be on your coaching
coordinator
staff,
with experience? You just went to the Eastern Conference Finals?
I'll just look at LA and what Jeff Van Gundy was for the Clippers, right? Like there's something there.
Yes.
So just saying that. Not saying that.
No.
Not naming.
We don't make these kind of decisions.
Any team. Is it tampering if it's a coach?
I don't think so.
Okay. Not naming any teams.
I just feel like it's like the old school. We always operate from the stance of, I don't know if you ever had to experience this in your job, but like in local news, you had to put in your Twitter bio, like, opinions are mine and not those of my employer. I feel like you and I just need a giant sticker on the thing that is views are ours and not of our employer. And we have absolutely no say in anything. We are not serious people. All right, we got to get to the WNBA Commissioner's Cup that continued last night. And the Indiana, those were words coming out of my mouth in a blur. The Indiana Fever got their first win without Caitlin Clark as she missed her third game with her quad injury. The Fever beat the Washington Mystics 85-75, a little revenge on the team that beat them 2 games ago. This was the Arie McDonald game, which was a bit of a surprise. She was huge for them last night. They had just signed her using a hardship waiver because you have the injury to Caitlin, you have the injury to Sophie Cunningham. Sid Colson was also dealing with an injury, although she did play. And then it was about midway through the first quarter, Sid Colson went head-to-head with I think it was with Brittany Sykes. And next thing I know, she's gushing blood. We had a blood situation, infectious disease stoppage on the court. She has blood coming out of her nose. They're like, well, good thing the Fever just signed Aari McDonald. This is Aari McDonald, actually. So once she gets in, she's doing everything. And this was a charge that Aari McDonald took yesterday. And I feel like that tonally is so perfect. And you have Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston on the bench giving their support of it. But that charge that Aari McDonald took, along with some other charges she took, the immediate impact she had in terms of stabilizing their offense. She's a true point guard. What have we been saying during the stretch without Caitlin Clark? God, the Fever are desperate for more ball handlers. They got one in Aari McDonald. Again, she's only there on a hardship waiver for the time being. They would have to make some decisions if they wanted to keep her on the roster. But I found myself watching Aari McDonald and having that classic WNBA experience of being like, how on earth does she not have a permanent home in the league right now? She was so good last night. Almost immediately, she's a part of a 10-0 run from the Fever that I thought tonally helped them really establish some confidence early on. She had a steal take the other direction. She had some really nice passes. She had a wraparound pass to DeWanna Bonner that just looked like a high-level, high-execution type play that is exactly the kind of thing that helps open up the entirety of the Fever offense to play with more confidence. And Kelsey Mitchell had her shot falling early. She had 23 points last night. Lexi Hull was huge in the second half. The Fever were able to use I think it was a 31-point third quarter, which gave them enough space that when the Mystics started making a run in the fourth, it was too late, too much for them to ultimately overcome. But, man, Aari McDonald, I think what was her stat line? 7 points, 5 assists, 3 steals, but her impact was so much more than that last night.
Led the team in assists in that game. The team overall got back to sharing the ball. I think they had, 23 assists on 30 made field goals or something like that. And it was good to see. When I got back to the house, it was on, and so
NBA TV. Thank you for
it,
having every Fever game on.
I will say I need to see it more than once. Right, like this feels like one of those times. It feels like it could be one of those things. Not to discredit her incredible game,
right?
But it feels like it could be one of those things where we hadn't seen her on this team, so the Mystics were caught a little off guard by some of the things she was doing. But once people start learning tendencies and things like that, then is there a counter to it? What does she do off of that? So just curious I'll need to see it more than once. But having an additional ball handler on that roster would do them a whole hell of a lot of good. You can't keep pounding Caitlin Clark into the ground. As dynamic as she is, there will be moments where you need to get her off the ball. And McDonald does free up Mitchell to be off of the ball. And I think that's why she played as well as she did. She wasn't having to try and facilitate. I still don't like the way that they're using Aaliyah Boston in this moment. I do think that you can throw the ball to Aaliyah
Run the offense
in the high post and say, all right, here we go, everybody, let's start playing ball. Yeah. But if that's not what you're going to do, you're going to need an additional ball handler, and she works in that position. I don't know who they end up letting go.
Sid Polson was playing well in the beginning of that game, and she
back off
another
injury.
One of those older players back off injury. But Aari just plays with the tempo that I think is so important to that Fever team. And you bring up a great point. Never be a prisoner of the moment to one game. Like, that's not how this works. And she was playing like her career depended on it, because she doesn't have a home. Like, she knows, even if the Fever ultimately don't find a place for her, and I know there were like overwhelming cries for, please, is there any way that we can find a spot for her on the roster? And that would require waiving another player. And I'm not sure they need, if their guards are all healthy, I'm not sure the point guard position is the place where they want to utilize one of those down the bench roster places. But for Aari McDonald, like, she can find a place somewhere else now. Like, this is how that all works. So it will be interesting. From that game as well, just want to shout out my USC Trojan, because I continue to be overwhelmingly impressed with Kiki. She is phenomenal. She is giving such Asia Wilson flashes, and that's a huge comparison, but that's what we do early in a rookie career. Like, who does this player remind you of? She's reminding you of Asia Wilson, and that's really not a stretch considering how well she's playing, how well she's scoring the ball. Where was this at USC? And I am not saying that Kiki wasn't delivering at USC. I have put all of my attention, all of my glaring on Lindsay Gottlieb, who I had some issues with throughout the season period. But the fact that she could not find a way to highlight both Juju and Kiki in that USC offense, and I know, like, USC was a 1 seed. They were a great team. Juju goes down. They end up losing in the tournament. I don't want to say that they underperformed because they were a 1 seed, but watching that team, it was very much Juju or bust, and I feel like there could have been such a more cohesive offense if they were able to use both of them in the way that it's now appearing Kiki was capable of doing. She's been tremendous. She had 20 points last night.
So would you let Coach Gottlieb go?
Yes, I've already said that.
Okay.
But not right now.
Okay.
Give her one more year. Juju's out. See what comes. But they also lost all those freshmen. Decided to transfer out, like the ones who were young on the team and expected to be kind of the leaders, and not all of them. But anyway, there's some decisions to be made.
Well, it's that I find that thought real interesting. Real interesting for somebody who's like, no, you can't let Thibs go. Look at all the things.
I fought Chris last night because I said in the NBA we do this so much more casually than the NFL, and he was like, no, we don't. And I was like, tell me the last NFL coach who made it to a conference championship game and got fired after it. And he's like, oh, there's got to be one really soon. And I was like, no. And the only one I could find, Marty Schottenheimer. Yeah. Find me another. I just think we're a little casual with the fire trigger.
I understand.
They make a lot of money. It's not like I'm worried for their future.
But you're ready to let a coach go who was a number 1 seed. And what were they the year before that? Weren't they like a number 1 seed
Did I say
again?
to fire her right now?
You said you were ready to let her go.
No, I said Jessica, I literally just said give her one more year.
I think
and we'll see what she does without Juju Watkins.
You're trying to fight the most right. You're trying to fight the furthest right.
I hate when I try to fight the right.
Don't fight the right. You never win. You never win. You can be good, but not good enough.
All right. We got to get to DeAngelo Williams. I can't wait to find out what DeAngelo wants to talk about.
You got to tell him
today.
about your stolen car.
Oh, man.
Don't let him talk about anything.
Hey, DeAngelo, have you ever had a car stolen? I'll ask him that. We'll find out when we come back. I bet he has too.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies on home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today. The Grizzlies, grannies, and grandpas have the right moves and are currently looking for new members to join their team for the upcoming season. These soulful seniors are a fan favorite group throughout Grizz Nation. You do not have to be a grandparent, but you must be at least 50 years old with personality, rhythm, and passion for performing. If that sounds like you, then we want to see you on Sunday, June 29th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information.
Bain drives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jaren with a knockaway.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
Let's go! Let's go!
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Jalen Wells is in studio right now. You took on tough, if not the toughest defensive assignment. When did you realize that would be your role?
And that's what I was working towards since training camp. I was trying to guard Dez. I was trying to guard Ja whenever I could, even if they're blowing by me, overpowering me. I really didn't care, because I was a rookie. So it's like, that's what's going to happen to a rookie.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Last week, I gave you the update about my son Kevin in terms of having to choose.
Has he made the decision?
He picked Tennessee State.
Oh, my heart, Mike.
The next day, we got an email from the director of Tuskegee's program laying out everything that they were going to be doing. And he flip-flopped.
There we go.
He flip-flopped. So he's going to be going down to Tuskegee.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify. Well, we're here. We're on. Let's get it going.
God, you take one day off.
That's not my fault.
Was that Jacob's fault?
Yeah, it was Jacob's fault.
We're all just teamwork makes the dream work today. All right, we are back. It is time to check in with DeAngelo Williams. DeAngelo, on this beautiful Wednesday.
It is very beautiful. As you can see, I'm out at the farm again. It's my happy place.
DeAngelo, we have a question for you this time. Have you ever had a car stolen?
No.
No?
No. And what's crazy is I don't think anybody that I've known gotten their car stolen. It's always like a friend of a friend.
Okay.
Because other friends hear about it and don't let their other friends experience things like that. So they deter them for doing things like leaving their car on when they went in the gas station, leaving the key
Here we
somewhere
go with the
around
victim
the car.
blaming again. You want the story?
You know two people who had their car stolen
Right
personally,
here.
DeAngelo.
Right here. Both of us.
Yep.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
And our situation, the keys were not in the car. The car was not on. The car even had a wheel lock on it, DeAngelo. And when we found it at the impound lot yesterday, that wheel lock was still there, which means they didn't get very far. So the wheel lock saved the car from disappearing into the Memphis abyss or wherever they were going to take it. So before you jump to conclusions that it's the victim's fault for their car being stolen, let me remind you, it's not.
What was my fault when my car got
Well, that's
stolen?
fine. You
My
can
car,
be that
my car was, wearing 16-inch chromed out shoes, so it was real enticing.
My car was but a simple Hyundai Elantra. And it's so funny, as we were looking up the cars, because TLDR, DeAngelo, we thought it was gone for good. We started the process of going through insurance to try to get the money out so that then you can buy a new car.
You breezing over way too much important information.
Okay, what information do you want?
Okay, so where was the car taken? Were you at home or were you somewhere out?
We were dog sitting in a neighborhood, and it was parked in front of the house overnight. And we have two cars, and my car was parked in the driveway, and Chris's car was parked on the street. And Chris's car was taken from somebody else's house. We were not at our home. No.
Okay.
Somebody else's house. It was taken. No glass, no nothing. They used one of those devices you can buy off of Amazon that just pops a lock system out on a Hyundai. All there was a spring in the street. Otherwise, you would have thought there was nothing that had ever been there. There was nothing in the car because Chris doesn't leave any valuables in the car except for our precious wagon that was in the trunk. And ultimately, we thought it was gone for good. And then they found it, and we got it in the impound lot yesterday. And it has to be fixed because they jacked with the steering console trying to steal it, so it's all hanging out and doesn't work anymore. But other than that, we're going to get the car back. It's all going to be good.
Okay, so did they steal it or did they try to steal it?
So that's the question. We don't know where it was found. They stole it. Okay, what do you consider it being stolen? Because this is an important question to get through. I would say they tried to steal it because we're ultimately going to get it back, right? It's a successful they stole it would be if we never saw the car again. But they did technically steal it because it was not where it was left, and we existed for 6 days thinking that the car was gone for good. But that wheel lock prevented them from stealing it what we would assume to be far. We won't know until we know the details of where the car was found. That will speak volumes.
So when you say wheel lock, I don't...
The bar that goes through the steering wheel that prevents it from turning. It saved the car. Why are you laughing? A wheel lock saved the car and you're laughing? You think this is funny? It's a miracle. It's a technological miracle. Speak your mind. Speak your truth.
I'm not, because I don't want you to say that I'm victim blaming. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to get through this conversation.
Wait, no, I'm actually curious. I don't care. You can say whatever you want. We always talk about this stuff. What are you thinking?
Okay, so let me make sure I get this straight.
Okay.
So I don't understand why you drove 2 separate cars to dog sit a dog at somebody, like.
Because I leave for work
me.
at 7:00 in the morning and Chris leaves for work at 9:30. Why is this difficult?
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
who dog are you dog sitting for? Like, is this you?
We have a side hustle. Sorry, you probably don't know this. We have a side hustle. We make money. We dog sit. We spend a lot of time. We spend like 70% of our nights living in other people's homes watching their dogs. Yes.
DeAngelo, we are doing a show. You can't just not talk. What are you doing?
I'm trying to
process with your words. Damn.
So I had an event this weekend, and this event that I had this weekend, and I'm gonna bring you up to where I'm at mentally right now.
Okay.
I think was the ultimate WPS, white people shit.
Okay.
And the reason why I think it was the most WPS thing ever, because you run 4.2 miles every hour on the hour until the last man is standing.
Well, that sounds miserable.
I know. 4.2 miles. They did it this weekend.
That's somehow worse than people who run marathons.
It was sold out.
Okay.
The winning person won an hour 20. And here's the thing. If nobody makes the cutoff, then nobody wins. You have to finish the last lap by yourself in the time that it's supposed to be in order for you to win the thing. So I'll give you an example. So if you and I are on the last lap and I miss the cutoff and you make the cutoff, you now have to run an additional lap by yourself to make sure that you don't miss the cutoff.
Okay.
Is what I mean.
And what's the cutoff? I'm confused because you said an hour 20.
An hour. No, an hour. So you got an hour to run 4.2 miles. When you get back, so if it started at 8 o'clock, if you get back in 40 minutes, you got a 20-minute break before your next 4.2 miles.
Okay.
So it's whatever time you come back. So people are coming back in like 50, 55 with like a 5-minute break, because they were talking about how, like, strategically you don't want a lot of time because of lactic acid fill in.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, like, that's crazy that you got to go into this thing with a strategy. But it was sold out event. And I'm just talking about it was one brother in there.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, you thought it was 5K one time, didn't you? You didn't know that it was every hour on the hour. And he was like, yeah, man, they got me. And I was like, yeah, come on over here with me, bro. Like, we're going to watch them do their thing.
Yes.
And they did. And everybody had an epic time. Everybody was walking around like they had something shoved up their butt, because a full body is last man standing. So
having an epic time sounds like some WPS. It was an epic time. I ran myself to the ground and could barely walk afterwards. But, man, it was epic.
And this is what
Okay,
really
but I need to
blows
know
my
why
mind.
you're comparing this to my very tragic situation that turned into a modern miracle, where my husband's car was stolen. Yeah, the wheel lock, a modern marvel. I want it right up there with the computer. We talk too much about AI. We need simple creations like a wheel lock.
So it goes to this right here.
Okay.
You think it's a modern miracle that you got your car back. But what you don't understand is in the hood, Pookie finds JJ car all the time and know who stole it, and we go over there and get it all the time. So the
that's
fact
fine.
that you went through the police to get your car,
I live in a city. I just got the statistic this morning. True ass story.
Soon.
Statistic this morning on the I think it was the Daily Memphian. Memphis ranks second in the country in car thefts, both from stealing, break-ins, everything's included in it. So I live in a city that has more car thefts than others, which is fine. A lot of big cities have car thefts. Like, that's not the point of my situation. My point is, it's not abnormal for someone to get their car stolen in some place, even if it wasn't staying in a neighborhood. People get their car stolen at, like, the grocery store or in a random Walmart parking lot or somewhere that...
No.
No?
I disagree.
You know know the city I live in better than me right now.
No, this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't have to know the city. Depending on what neighborhood you live in, and it doesn't matter if you live in the ghetto, if you live in non-ghetto, wherever you live, you're going to understand your surroundings and how you got to operate in those surroundings in order for you to feel safe. Not be safe, feel safe. So if you go into a neighborhood that you don't necessarily know, and you look around and all the context clues say this is a bad neighborhood, you're going to go through the necessary safety precautions to make sure that your vehicle is there.
What if your context clues were that it's a really nice neighborhood? And I hate getting into the weeds of like what we deem as a nice neighborhood, but like there were other cars parked out on the street. There were birds chirping in the sky.
Just out of curiosity, what can you do to take the necessary precautions to keep your car from being stolen, DeAngelo?
Oh, come on, man. You know, come on, CJ. You know what we do, man. There's always a quirk in the car where you got to do something to get it started. Like you either got to hit the gas pedal 14 times or you got to hit the brake like 3 or 4 times. And it's really a product defect, but we done turned it into a security system that we just like, we don't know why I do it, but that's the only way you can get this car started.
Or you put a wheel lock on it.
Or a wheel lock. And speaking of car defects, it's not like this was a new car. This is a 2016 Hyundai Elantra that one of the mirrors had been ripped off at some point. So he has 2 different colored mirrors. He has one white mirror and one black mirror. It's a diverse Hyundai Elantra, an integrated Hyundai Elantra. And so he was able to even tell the people, and they kept his sticker on his car. How nice was that? His little Bonner sticker still out there in the back. But I feel like you started this when I said that we dog sit. That's when it really elevated your WPS mentality. And I would like for you to dive further into that because I look at it, it's a hustle. Like we're just hustling.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the fact that you lower your surroundings in terms of safety when you do certain things. I'll give you a case in point.
Okay.
A Lyft driver or Uber, it's not their responsibility, in my opinion, to make you feel safe. If you don't feel safe calling the Uber, and I'm not talking about feeling safe from a standpoint of when you get in, hey, I'll make sure you get to your desk, reassuring you all these things because if that's the case, don't use this damn service. Don't use this damn service. Because you're holding up other people that's willing to put their lives on the line to experience the service that they're about to get. If that Uber or Lyft driver get me down the road and stab me, then I put that on myself by calling that Uber or Lyft driver. It's not the company.
Okay, so if you want to like totally big brain this, because I was watching are you familiar with the Titanic sub where they were going to see the wreckage of the Titanic and this guy had this company where they went in the sub and it imploded and everybody died?
With the PlayStation 2 controller.
So are you blaming the people who went on the sub despite this rich man taking their money, telling them it was a safe situation, but they got on the sub that was a service that they sought out and an experience that they sought out?
I'm blaming them.
I actually am too in that situation. And that is some WPS.
Yeah, right, but that's what
because that's on the same, I put that in the same category as like the people who hike or try to summit Everest. It's like explorer mentality. So those are separate situations. But an Uber is a normal. I actually thought about this the other day because we got in an Uber with a driver I was like a little. Just my spidey senses were. I'm not sure that I should be driven around by this person right now. And you know what? We stayed in the car. We got there safely. But I did think to myself, it's crazy how much we trust these random people who have signed up to be drivers.
Super random. I thought about taking a picture and sending it to you guys. I was at a Walmart out of town yesterday. They had veteran parking right up front.
Oh.
I didn't see any pregnant parking. I saw veteran parking. I saw
good. The
3
pregnant people, as DeAngelo would tell you.
Veteran parking. That made me think of you, DeAngelo. Put a smile on my face.
Priorities. DeAngelo, thank you for making me feel worse. I'm not sure. I don't feel worse.
I still don't understand why y'all took 2 cars to go dog sit over somebody. Like, I feel like as the homeowner, I'm upset. Bring 1 car. Y'all act like y'all live in my damn house. You don't need 2. You don't need 2 cars to dog sit at my house.
You're right, DeAngelo. We should have thought that through different.
My damn driveway.
We should have changed our entire.
You ain't even blocked the driveway. He probably had somebody come over there and move your car.
DeAngelo, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great day on the farm. I hope you get some work done. And I hope we see you again next week. Bye.
Wire cutters. wire cutters cut the steering wheel and that bar come right off.
No, it doesn't. That's the point of that bar. Traditional wire cutters do not cut it. That's literally why he bought it, which was why it was so crazy when the steering wheel. Well, they couldn't get through that either. That's what I thought was going to happen. Again, these criminals were bad criminals. I don't want to like taunt them in case they're fans of the show. What if they're watching and they're like, let's try again? It's cool. Make good choices. Go steal someone else's car. Bye, DeAngelo.
Bye.
I did think that. I was like, I don't want to like draw them out. I don't want them to hear me saying that they did a bad job the first time around and they're like, well, gotta go target that car again. That'd be scary.
Would it be scary?
No, now I know. Well, if they came back more prepared. As the great John Wooden once said, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And when they tried to steal a car without having wire cutters to get through the wheel, they were preparing to fail. And that is what happened. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We have some WTF stories to get through. A zebra on the loose in our very own state. I'll tell you about it. Plus, a crazy Glacier collapse, a horrible Netflix rollout, and CJ's going to explain to me what FeetFinder.com's tow truck is. I can't wait. We'll get into it on the other side.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
You've seen the Grizz line jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizz line entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizz line is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
The other thing that came out this week that we were talking about innovation and Nike and all that, they dropped these $900 hyper boots. That
900.
I mean, they're a recovery shoe apparently that you wear after sports, whatever.
Who's buying it? Because all the athletes that we see, they're gonna get seated this. So who's gonna actually pay $900 for this?
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second
took
time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with where you have a better chance
But
of
you get a
sticking.
lot of stuff. You get a parade. I
They
think you
do?
go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. Time for some WTF stories to get through our Wednesday. First up, there's a zebra on the loose. I learned something new in this story. I learned that in the state of Tennessee, which is where the zebra is on the loose, since Saturday, has not been caught at the time of this broadcast. A zebra is a Class 3 animal in the state of Tennessee, which means you can own it without a permit. You can have a pet zebra legally. You want to know what else you can have as a pet?
What?
A llama. You want to know what else you can have as a pet?
What?
A camel. You want to know what else you can have as a pet? A freaking giraffe.
As a pet?
As a pet. I feel
That doesn't make sense. That's way too large an animal to have as a pet in Tennessee.
Yes, and I think it's a little insane if you have a pet giraffe or a pet zebra, for that matter.
What's the difference in a zebra and a
And
horse?
a horse, that's a great question. One is aesthetically more interesting.
So they're the same animal. Zebra is black with white stripes, and a horse is just
feels
doesn't
like
have the stripes.
something that should not be owned as a pet. I don't know why.
Llama?
Are you watching this season of The Righteous Gemstones?
I finished it.
We're close to finishing.
Okay.
We just had Jacob just started the series.
All
We're
right.
not my mom also just started the series, and I'm like, oh God, I hope she gives up on it before we get to the episode that I just watched.
The Whole Lot of Penis episode?
No, but that
Okay.
was a great episode.
All right.
No, the crazy episode.
Okay.
The like tonally different
Yeah.
episode that takes a big turn. Anyway, this doesn't spoil anything, Jacob, but there was a pet monkey on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We went through an entire thing with pet monkeys during Chimp Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That pet monkey made me want a pet monkey again.
Oh my
Don't tell PETA. I'm here to fight for animals, zebras and giraffes. But that little pet monkey, Dr. Watson, he
Llamas?
saved BJ's life.
Llamas?
People are obsessed with llamas. We went to an alpaca farm in Chattanooga. They seem to take care of their alpacas.
Camels? So what's the difference in
A camel
llama,
feels like a
camel and a
circus
zebra?
situation. A camel feels like you have a camel to try to make people pay $5 to ride the camel.
Okay.
A zebra also feels that way. Like, oh, we're cooler than a family with a horse. We have a zebra. Come take a picture on our zebra. And that feels, if you're using the animal to work, it doesn't feel right.
Isn't that what we do with
Okay,
all animals?
that was a really stupid sentence that came out of my mouth.
But
and
for
the second
you,
I said it.
llama fine. Horse
What I mean
fine.
is like work like a circus animal, not work like a are you really having a zebra to carry hay for you, or to what do horses do?
Run the Kentucky Derby? I don't know. Like I really don't know what else horses do outside of that.
What do
like, what
horses
tasks
do on a farm?
Yeah, so outside of that, I'm not.
Pulling for obviously they pull equipment and transport
don't we got
goods and
trucks for
herd
that?
livestock. I thought we had the technology to save the horses and they got to just prance around.
Either way it goes, horse fine, llama fine, camel not, zebra not, giraffe absolutely not.
Yes.
As a pet.
Giraffe
as a pet.
Far
Giraffe
and away.
absolutely
Giraffe
not as a pet.
absolutely not. Why on earth do you have a pet giraffe?
Correct.
Llama, I don't know.
Okay. I'm just trying to find, all I want
The
to know
line
is
of pets.
where the line is for a
When
pet.
I saw that someone had a pet zebra that got on the loose and escaped the day that they got it too.
The day they got
it's either the day they
zebra?
got it or the day after.
Is there video
It
footage
was the
of
day
this?
after it was purchased. Yes. This is in Rutherford County. East Nashville?
That's Murfreesboro, isn't it?
Murfreesboro area?
Yeah, that's Murfreesboro.
So this is the
zebras on the
zebra.
loose in Murfreesboro?
Yes. Yes.
Just running down the street.
Near I-24. Brought traffic to a standstill, and then it escaped into the woods, and it hasn't been found. But is a zebra built to exist in the East Tennessee hills?
Yeah, there aren't hills. This isn't
It's
East
gonna get
Tennessee.
eaten by
This
a
is Middle
bear.
Tennessee. So yeah, it'll be fine.
You consider Murfreesboro Middle Tennessee?
Yeah, because
Right,
Murfreesboro,
Middle Tennessee State. That would make sense.
Yeah, Murfreesboro is Middle Tennessee.
I always think of anything east of Memphis as East Tennessee.
Yeah, well, as a Tennessean, yeah, when they teach us in school, we got the lines of demarcation.
Technically, as a Memphian, if you cut off Memphis from the rest of Tennessee, then Murfreesboro would actually be like West Tennessee. If we really wanted to big brain it.
It wouldn't be because Jackson is still there. Either way
Yeah,
it
but
goes.
I would put both of them. Anyway.
Zebra on the loose in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
Huh.
Someone reached out to me. They were like, "Did you see the zebras on the loose?" I'm like, "Oh
In a-
yeah." And they're
in a
like,
neighborhood.
"In Tennessee," and I was like, "Oh, whoa! I didn't know it was in
Throw
our
that
very
back
own
up,
state."
Jacob. Like that is Murfreesboro
Yeah.
has a bunch of these cookie cutter neighborhoods
Yeah.
now, and that is like in one of
That is
those
a cookie cutter
neighborhoods.
neighborhood if I've ever seen one.
Like all of those houses look the same. And it's running loose in that
I want to
neighborhood.
know how it escaped the home. Like, where were you trying to put your new pet zebra that it so easily got out? I would assume a zebra is expensive.
Yes.
What's the cost of a zebra?
I don't know. While you're figuring that out, when you said East Tennessee, I'm thinking, a rural part of town.
Yeah, you're right.
Like a rural community. Murfreesboro is like pretty cityfied. And so you're in
I always
that
forget
neighborhood.
the sheer distance that is Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I apologize. My statement was second dumb thing I've said.
Listen, check this out. I took Tennessee history. You didn't, so I know what's going on.
I only
in
took
the state.
Colorado history.
Yeah, that's all we do.
If
Focus
I had
on
a
the
wagon, I would go to Colorado. Go to Colorado.
think Johnny
If I had a
Appleseed-
wagon,
was Johnny
I would.
Appleseed
If
the
I
one who
had
came
a
through?
wagon,
Who
I
had
would
the-
go to the state
who had the
where a
coonskin
man can
hat?
walk a mile high. Davy Crockett.
Davy Crockett, that's our guy.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. You don't know the Davy Crockett song?
No, I don't.
It was on like the
Please
Disneyland soundtrack.
Okay.
For Frontierland.
All right.
You used to be able to buy like a Davy Crockett hat at Disneyland. I think you still can.
Okay.
And you could go to Tom Sawyer Island. It's the most boring
That's in
thing you could
Missouri.
do in the entire. No, that's.
Tom Sawyer is in Missouri.
Well, but they do a bunch of Huckleberry Finn, don't
Huckleberry Finn is in Missouri. Both of them are there.
But Hannibal, Missouri has a Huckleberry Finn. I know they have a. Oh my God, why can't I think of the author of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn? Mark Twain.
Mhm.
They have a whole Mark Twain museum. Because isn't he from Hannibal?
I don't know where he's from.
I think it's
but
from Hannibal.
he's kicking in Missouri.
She was Joe from Hannibal. Mo, go, go, go. God, I have a song for everything today.
But
a
again,
zebra.
A zebra needs farmland to run around in. You're not keeping a horse in a residential neighborhood.
No.
You're not keeping a llama in a residential neighborhood as a
No.
pet. So you can't keep a zebra in a cookie cutter, residential, suburban ass
Agreed.
neighborhood. Because it's just going to jump the fence.
But I'm not sure.
The day they got it, you say?
This comes a year after a group of 4 zebras being transported in Washington State escaped a truck when their driver.
We talked about that. Yeah.
Those zebras were secured within hours.
Yeah.
They called it a zerch. Are we
Mm.
calling this a zerch?
I don't like that at all.
Sometimes I call a zebra a zebra.
Zerch sounds like oddly bigoted, and I'm not sure about which group it is.
It's bigoted against zebras.
Like you just walk into a room and somebody pulls you to the
That's
side,
Zerch.
like, look at all these damn Zerches in here. God, we got to do
And
something
it
about
does
the
sound a
Zerches.
little hateful.
Right? Like it sounds bigoted, and I don't like it.
Sounds like something the Wake Forest baseball coach would say.
Wait, what did he say?
You didn't see that clip?
No.
Oh, he said the F word. The slur.
Oh, to who? Umpire?
No, you guys like talking about one of the Tennessee baseball players and got caught on a
Oh.
camera, and then the guy hit a 2-run home run. It was a great sequence. I guess he like wrote an apology, but it's pretty lame.
Okay.
It's basically like, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. I don't know what you want him to do in that situation. He said it. It's caught in camera. Camera.
You sound like you're from
Anyway,
Tennessee.
we won't call it a zerch, but a zebra does cost
What would you do?
only
Well, how much?
between $1,000 and $5,000. Maybe
Only?
I am. I thought it was gonna be like 10 grand. I think I'm overestimating the rarity of. I think I'm putting zebra in unicorn territory when I should be putting it closer to just a horse.
Just a horse.
Like I think on my scale of horse to unicorn, I was putting zebra on the right side of the middle line, and it should be on the left side, closer to a horse than a unicorn. But I just find zebras so interesting. We don't see them very often.
And that's the only reason it's interesting is because you don't
Exactly.
see it.
It's unique.
No, it's not unique. They're everywhere in the
Are
right.
they?
Yes, I don't think zebras are endangered. I think zebras are fine. These aren't rhinos.
Zebras
These
are primarily everywhere in the world, but I don't think we find them. We don't find them in the wild in the United States of America.
That's why they seem unique to you.
Yes.
They aren't really that unique.
Fine.
They're fine.
You saw tons of zebras when you were in Tanzania.
Yeah, they're around. You see them. They're there. But we just think they're unique because we don't have them here. Like if it was a moose, do you find moose unique?
Yes, but I grew
But
up around them.
They're not here.
But I still find them unique.
Okay.
Or like a
The
bison.
antlers?
Yeah.
Bison, because they're big.
Yeah.
Unique.
Yeah. They feel like they came from a different time.
Okay. All right.
Historic. Prehistoric.
What are you doing with a zebra running down your neighborhood?
Taking a picture and posting it on TikTok and thinking, God, I'm finally going to make it on this app.
JB Jams?
JB
Is that still
Jams.
the place to be?
Yeah, we have a great one on the car. It's doing well, connecting with some people in Memphis, some supporters, and then some typical suspects being like, Memphis is the worst place in the world. Don't they get tired? Don't they get tired of
Zebras.
saying that?
are smaller and lighter than horses. They're not larger than horses. They're smaller.
They are smaller. I put zebras in they're kind of like an Icelandic horse, which is like a mini horse. I guess that's why I think of zebras too. They seem like a novelty. All right, moving on to the next story. We're taking a break from scary AI stories this week, although there were many, and instead we're going to focus on scary climate stories, because I don't know if you saw the video of the small town in Switzerland that was completely wiped away by a glacier collapse, but that is exactly what happened. It was a glacial landslide that took out a small town in Switzerland called Blatten. The village had been there for over 800 years, and there was ice in the mountain above it. It sat at the bottom of a mountain. Basically, that ice finally gave away, and this is what happened. A giant slush slide completely wiped away the town at the bottom of it.
There's nothing you can do. You look up and you see that, it's like, all right.
No, you're done. Now, incredibly, they had evacuated the town a week before because alarm bells started to ring about the stability of the mountain, and almost all 300 residents were evacuated. I guess an older man stayed in his home, and he's missing, and that just breaks my heart. But sometimes it's hard to leave your home, or you don't want to leave your home, or you are stubborn and don't want to leave your home. I don't want to speak ill of anyone, so that was his personal choice. But it is incredible that they were able to get out the majority of people. However, there is nothing left, like absolutely nothing. It completely took away everything from this town, and it's very disconcerting to see images like this. We don't live around mountains.
What do you mean disconcerting?
Disconcerting in the fact that it's terrifying what's happening.
Wouldn't that just be concerning? I'm confused about the dis. I think you used that word incorrectly.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, so it's very concerning.
God.
Yeah. It's okay.
I didn't like that.
It's okay. So it's very concerning. We don't live near a mountain.
Disconcerting is what I was trying to say. I was like, I know my brain had the right thing on the mind, but it was wrong. Anyway, disconcerting, not good when there are such cracks in ice. And I know people get really like climate change or climate crisis, and it's very much in the word universe of like woke. And it's been weaponized in a way that people's ears just turn off and don't want to hear it. And if you don't believe in it, like I don't really have any help at this point, because you're seeing things happen like this. And I actually read an interesting report where they're not able to say with absolute that climate change caused what happened in Blatten, because it takes weeks and months of validation and going through different numbers and analytics. However, when they look at, there were 45 studies of landslides or ice slides in the Alps over the last few years, and all of them go towards climate change and global warming and the warming of temperatures, destabilizing ice. And when I went to Iceland last summer, or whenever we went, 2 summers ago, one of the most damning things that has stuck with me forever was we went on a lagoon tour of a glacial lagoon, which is very cool to look at, but is a horrifying thing because it's caused by the melting of the glacier behind it. And one of these massive glaciers, I think it's the biggest in Iceland, has then created the largest glacier lagoon. And the rapidity at which it's melting has the people there, they are genuinely so concerned, and they are trying desperately to tell tourists when they're there, this is real. The rate at which icebergs and glaciers are melting in our country and in other countries is something that's so concerning, and at this point it doesn't feel like it can be stopped. Even if there were massive acts done to stop it at this point, it's too late. The melting would continue. So anyway, it's either going to be the robots or the climate that takes us out.
Climate is changing, so you gotta acknowledge that. We got more severe storms. We got icebergs and glaciers melting at rates we haven't seen. So it is very clearly obvious that the climate is changing. And the why is because we're doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And that is also obvious. What are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? Listen, if you're going to do nothing and just let it continue to happen, well, get ready for more of these types of things to occur, where landslides are more common, villages, towns are getting destroyed, and be ready to deal with the relocation that comes with that. If the shorelines are being changed, if more flooding is happening, that means those coastal cities that we like to kick it in, those are probably going to go away sooner rather than later. You just got to be ready to start relocating people, have the money available, and open the hospitality up to your respective communities to relocate them. And if you don't want to relocate them, then buddy, you should probably start doing something about this climate change to try and slow it down and mitigate it. some.
Right.
Otherwise,
It is
that is
very-
going to be more common.
It's incredible that those lives were saved. And like they have monitored it and they do know. But the people who monitor it are saying this is a crisis and sincere things have to be done to attempt to stop it. All right. Next up on the many crises that face this world that we live in, feetfinder.com has started a tow truck.
Hell yeah, they
And by
have.
tow truck, I mean TOE. You might have thought tow truck, a truck that takes cars from the impound lot and takes them to the mechanic because we're constantly stuck on cars. But no, this is a tow truck, as in wiggling your little itty bitty piggy wiggy toes. Please explain.
And they're looking for drivers.
Are you going to apply?
Are we going to apply?
Oh.
We can drive around the
We're
country.
going to go together?
So feetfinder.com is exactly what you think feetfinder.com is. I don't think I need to explain that for anybody. They've got a marketing campaign similar to the Oscar Mayer Wiener, the Oscar Mayer Mobile, where the Oscar Mayer Mobile drives around the country and everybody's like, oh, there's the Oscar Mayer Wiener. Let's take pictures. Feetfinder is doing it with their tow
I
truck.
hate that. I really hate that.
You hate what?
I hate that truck. I hate
Do
that
we need
giant model of a foot.
Do we need to paint the toenails? Would that make you feel
Yes,
better?
actually it
Give
would. Because the
listen,
toenails kind of just go into the toes. I've never realized I need a definitive toenail.
2 drivers, you and I.
Okay.
Think
What's
we
the
get
pay?
hit? We get to drive a truck around.
There's only
the
2 days left to
country.
apply.
Yeah, we need to apply today, like right now, so that we can get this.
Here's what they're looking for. This is the person that they're looking for. Is wildly outgoing and loves being the center of attention.
That's us.
Has video creation and editing skills.
That's us.
Bonus if you're a TikTok native at
That's
JB
JB Jams.
Doesn't care what people think and can hype a crowd. You can take that
That's
portion.
me.
I can hype a crowd. Is obsessed with going viral and building a movement.
Here
I
we
think
are.
we could do it. I'll start the application process right now.
Clip it. We want to be the Feet Finder truck drivers.
Do you think that we could continue to do our show for Grind City Media on the road? Because dual incomes in this growing world where you got to have as much money as possible, that could really help us out.
Yeah,
you can never make too much
we could
money.
Do it from you being one. We
You do
Skype,
have to be
we
over
always
18.
Zoom. That's we're
Jessica
way over it.
Benson.
We can do it on Zoom and then just package it and then send it
give them
in
my information.
to we'll package it and we can send it in to Jacob and Jacob can just play it every morning.
Okay.
As we're on the road and maybe we do some clips from the road also.
I like that.
This would be great.
I like that.
How
a
long
lot.
are we doing? It's just for the summer, correct?
I think it's just for the summer.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Come on. We can drive you to all of the weddings you got to go to this summer. We can drive you to Summer League. The tow truck in Vegas for Summer League?
You're gonna find out.
Who says no?
Certainly not the players.
Whoa.
Wasn't there somebody in the league who had like a massive foot fetish? Wasn't that a thing?
The only one I recall is Rex Ryan.
Oh yeah, Rexy makes jokes about the feet to this day, which I appreciate. A man who can laugh about his.
Yeah. Listen, you like what you like. Ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah.
There's
There's got to be at least one.
Yeah. Probably more than one. Don't be closeted. Come out of the closet and support these feet. Let's go. So you're applying. I'm also going to apply. And is there a comment note section? Be like, I'll only do it if my good friend
Yeah.
CJ.
It has to be a tag team or nothing kind of situation.
yes.
I don't feel
Well,
safe driving the tow
say
truck
it
by
like that,
myself.
but yeah.
You're right. Thank you.
Come on now.
Oh, I had a horrifying moment at Italian Fest that I forgot to tell you about. Somebody was talking about you, and they were like, CJ. And I was like, my CJ?
Oh.
And I was like, I wanted to wash my mouth out with soap. Speaking of soap.
What a transition!
Speaking of soap.
What a transition!
Sydney Sweeney and Dr. Squatch have partnered to create a special Sydney Sweeney soap that is made out of Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. This comes from her original campaign with Dr. Squatch, where she, if you remember, have a commercial. She is in a bath of sorts with bubbles and whatnot, and some absolute sickos were out there like, ooh, somebody should sell Sydney Sweeney's bathwaters because everybody's weird in this world. And so Sydney Sweeney...
Everybody are just dudes. And just heterosexual dudes, right? Cisgender...
Everything's on a spectrum, CJ.
And
when
this
it comes
month,
to
I'm aware of it.
weirdness, heterosexual dudes take the top spot pretty heavily. But everybody has some weirdness. I just think those who are seeking the bathwater of a celebrity that they never have met and most likely never will meet are of the weirdest of varieties. But I'm not trying to kink shame here. And now Sydney Sweeney has come out with a special soap that she and Dr. Squatch are selling beginning on June 6th.
Can you imagine what that soap would go for?
2025. I saw somebody comment, they said, whatever makes men take a shower. As long as it makes a man take a shower.
They're not going to shower with this. And if they do shower,
Please.
they're only washing one part repeatedly. That's all they're going to do. They'll lather it up in their hands.
It's small.
And they'll get that one region.
Great.
And that's it.
Every day we stray further from God.
Listen, man.
I am not one who wants to revert to a Puritan society, but every now and then there is something that happens where I'm like, maybe we just pop that Bible open once a day. Just read a verse or two. Just try to get back to your roots, man.
I feel like some people are getting their jokes off, but I feel like some aren't. The amount of dudes
who are
I
gonna
saw
buy this
was like, yeah, I can't wait to drink
But
this.
I don't think there's very much. It's not drinking it. It's soap.
They're going to put it in water.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
And they're going to drink it, Jessica.
Also, guess what? I doubt they used the water. I bet that tub was drained and it's not the actual water, and you all are gonna get got with just some normal ass soap, and then you're gonna start eating soap, and that's a problem. The kids are eating Tide Pods. You're eating soap.
Are they still
again.
doing that?
No, they put them behind the glass, and now you have to get a special key to get them out. So I don't think they're eating the soap.
Somebody's going to the ER
But
because of this
somebody
soap.
will.
Somebody's going to this ER. It's going places where it should not go immediately.
It's insane.
I think they're only making like 1,000 or something
All
like
right,
that.
2 other quick stories to get to. One, we didn't get to this in TV Tuesday yesterday, but Stranger Things announced their rollout for their final season, season 5, which, oh my God, I cannot believe we're still doing a new season of Stranger Things in the year of our Lord 2025. They're releasing it in 3 parts because they can never do anything normal in this world anymore. November 26th will be volume 1. December 25th, Christmas, will be volume 2. And then December 31st, New Year's Eve, volume 3 will come out. So a 1, 2, 3-parter for season 5 of Stranger Things. We have not had a new season of Stranger Things in 4 years. And I am starting to forget what is happening on this show. I saw a TikTok literally like 2 nights ago where they went through some big theory about Hopper and who Hopper's daughter actually is and if she was in the Upside Down. And I was like, Hopper had a daughter? Not 11? I don't remember.
That's the
problem.
beauty of what Netflix, and beauty for them. It's terrible for us. But they're going to, because everybody's excited about it, and it's been so long since we've seen the other seasons, people are going to go back and rewatch those, and so that adds to their numbers, and then they're going to hop on the app 3 different times to binge watch this show. The whole point of these streaming services was, hey, we're going to stick everything out there all at once, and you watch them however you see fit to watch them, and it allowed for you to binge watch these shows. Now, you're going to have whatever critiques that you want to have about binge watching, but that was the point of it. And now with this, Squid Games, the way they did Squid Games really bothered me, really made me upset because they did part 1 and now they're going to do part 2. It's just a way for them to keep you on the app, to keep you from buying the app and then canceling it right after you binge watch your favorite show.
I was just going through my expenses, trying to find places to cut corners. Netflix is so expensive.
Yeah.
It's like $30 a month.
30?
Did
What
something
Netflix
happen
do
to my
you
Netflix?
have?
I don't know. Certainly not. I have ads on mine.
Check that. You have ads on the Netflix?
Yes. Don't you?
No.
Maybe I don't. All my apps blur together, so
Okay,
don't
check-
quote me on that.
check.
But I did look at. I was literally going through my bank.
So we've-
$37.20.
No, it should not be that.
I think it's because I had to add when they stopped letting you share with people. I think my parents are on my Netflix, so now I'm
And
paying for everybody.
I don't think it still should be
I
that.
think it is.
Okay, double check, because we've had somebody steal our Netflix down in Brazil.
Oh.
And ours had jumped from first off, $19.99 is ridiculous. It had jumped up to $25. My wife
Steal
said, "Oh
in
no, we are
Brazil?
not." Yeah. Well, that's where the computer said they were from.
Oh.
It was like, hey, this is where the login is. This is where the person.
Okay, I'm
has
gonna
set
give
up
that a
shop.
look-see.
Yeah, give it a look.
Thanks. All right, last but not least, Tinder is apparently starting to use a height filter
What are
on
we
their
doing?
app. I was looking for this. This has been something that's been rumored for a long time, and it does seem like they are actually going to launch this feature for Tinder. I didn't know people were still on Tinder. I thought people were all using Bumble and Humble and Hinge and all those other apps. Like Tinder feels.
It's only for whatever their gold platinum members are.
So you have to be the desperatest users of Tinder.
So it's that they're trying to make it more, because with all of these apps, dating wise, romantic wise.
Speaking of expensive, it's $40 a month.
There are way more men on these things than women.
Yeah.
And so if you've got that sort of a dynamic, men end up leaving, and you want to keep them there, and you want to get more women in because women also have money too, so you want them to be spending money. So you're trying to make it more appealing to women. And I guess they went to one of these damn focus groups like, hey, what can we do? It's like, hey, give us a height filter. And so those members get the height filter.
Yeah.
And it's to try and lure women in. They're saying that it's not going to completely eliminate dudes from. So if you got a height filter of like 6 to 6'3",
they'd give you someone who's like 5'8" and be like,
it's not going to like completely keep the 5'8s away from you, but you'll see fewer of those.
my poor short kings.
What?
My poor mid-sized kings.
Listen, what are we doing here? Women,
You
stop,
all matter.
stop objectifying us.
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't like it if there was a weight filter. You wouldn't like it if there
I
was...
actually agree with that.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of crazy.
Come on.
Like, from a body
Gander
positivity standpoint.
Yeah. Dudes have feelings also during this month, the men's mental health awareness month. That's how
The gays can't even have their own month now? You men stole something else from them?
I mean, we were here first. We men.
You guys are the worst.
What?
You guys can't let people have anything, can you?
I mean, they can. No. What do you mean let them have it? They took our month.
Says the woman who's in sports media, and Women and Girls in Sports Day is in Black History Month. We just steal a day. We just
so is your birthday, which shame on you.
So is my birthday.
Shame
on my parents.
Shame on you.
For daring to have me try to take any time away. And I used to, and as somebody who would call it a birthday month.
Come on.
All right, we got to get out of here on this Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. The NBA is back. We get NHL tonight. Are you going to watch any of the Stanley Cup Finals?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Panthers, Oilers.
I got money on the Panthers.
I think that's a pretty smart bet to make.
Yeah.
I would love for Canada to do it for Canada.
Why do we care about Canada so much? That's a different country. We're not supposed to care about them.
I care about Canada.
What are we
You hear that,
talking
Canada? If there ever comes a day where I come knocking on your door, please let me in.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to let you leave here, Jessica.
7 o'clock,
I don't know what you
TNT.
mean.
We'll be back tomorrow. Game 1, Pacers Thunder tomorrow. Teresa Walker will join us. We'll preview that game, see what else pops off throughout the rest of the day. There's always something. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Didn't get to talk about the death of John Redcorn. Did you keep up with that?
Crazy.
That's what I wanted to talk about yesterday during TV.